Right. Alrighty, Nia. So the first question is, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself and your influencer career so far?
Okay, so hi, my name is, for those who don't know, it's not Sleepylllama. My actual name is Nia Atasha, but I go by Nia, I go by Sleepy. Sometimes people see me on the streets, they call me Llama, which is completely fine. And I go by Sleepylllama, as you know, and currently I am a model. I just started, I'm a model, a TV host, and I just started acting this year. And I guess since the webinar is about social media, I would call myself a digital creator, a content creator, yeah.
Everybody here, influencers are digital creators. So
Yeah.
would you mind telling us, when did you start?
When did I, oh, wow.
And how did
Okay. Creating content, I think I've started as early as probably 18, 19. You know, it wasn't really a career yet at the time. It was just that I love taking photos. I like art in general. So I translated my photos that I upload on my social media, and you know, when people started approaching me and be like, hey, we've got lipsticks, hey, we've got this, hey, we've got that, you know, can you, in exchange for a picture on your feed? So I guess slowly it just became a career, especially with my modeling that I have right now. I think that really helped me in becoming who I am today, and it really has helped me in terms of creating content because I'm more exposed to so many different kind of possibilities or creativity in terms of creating stuff. So I guess that's how it started. It just really just started as a hobby. Like, I love taking photos of books, of food, of my cats, of myself, and here I am.
Oh my God. Like, speaking of, you started off as, I know that you started off your career as an artist first.
Yeah.
Your ITM, and you would upload pictures of your artwork, and then you moved on to modeling, and then
Yeah.
you basically learned from your modeling career how to produce beautiful content on your social media. I love your social media platform, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think you know, I started out as a graphic designer. I think that has really influenced my style. That's how I think it started, because you know, as a graphic designer, you kind of want to see the beauty in things that people don't really see. So it really started from there, and I think modeling and fashion and being exposed to all these things really just influenced my style as of now.
So, may I ask, like, what is your style per se?
My style? Oh my gosh. I wish I knew. I mean, like, I would say sort of edgy, sort of artsy. I try to be within that range. I mean, I get bored really easily, so I tend to switch it up here and there. Sometimes I go for something super edgy for quite a while, and something that's really soft and minimal, and something super colorful. So I guess it really depends on what I'm influenced by at the time. And I think if you look at my feed, I would say that I wouldn't say aesthetic, but like, I think my niche would be like fashion and lifestyle. So anything that revolves around that, because it's my work as well.
Okay, so would you mind sharing some tips on how we can actually find our style for our Instagram platform? How do we, because I understand that you're a designer, and maybe it's a little bit harder for people who are not as, artsy. How
To put it
do I
nicely.
yeah.
Okay, I think now I would say is to always go out and find inspiration. Go out, find out who are your favorite influencers, who are your favorite, let's say you're into fashion, who are your favorite fashion designers, who's your favorite model, what brands do you like, you know. Sometimes when you look at all these brands or people, you might be able to find a similarity. So that similarity could be the aesthetic that you're going for, you know. And it's okay to experiment. I understand that sometimes people are like, oh, you have one aesthetic, you stick to it till you die. You know, I have an aesthetic and you are not allowed to have my aesthetic, or you can't have this aesthetic because another person's. No, it shouldn't be like that. It's okay to go out and experiment, because first of all, we're young. Second, when you're in the line of, if you're in the creative line, you know, it's called creative. So at one point, you are bound to be bored of what you're working with, and you're bound to be inspired by someone else or something new. So in terms of finding something that works well with you, you need to know what is it that attracts you, what is it that you like, what kind of content that, you know, resonates with your brand, with yourself. And that's the kind of aesthetic you should go for. You know, to make it easy, like maybe look out for a favorite influencer, 2 or 3 people, and try, I would say copy or imitate, but try to be inspired and see, you know, how you can achieve that kind of style or aesthetic or kind of content that you want, just from being inspired from another person, but not to completely copy them, but to also find something that you like as well, you know. Babe, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm back.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Thank you so much for sharing. I'm sure it's something that we all struggle with. I know even myself, I struggle with finding myself in my content, you know, like just to find the perfect background, the perfect OOTD. If you don't mind, would you be sharing with us, how do you normally go about planning? Do you invest in your content? Do you plan your outfits?
Okay, wow. When it comes to creating content for me, because I'm actually a very fussy person, I'm actually a very fussy person, and because I know the kind of content I want to create, let's say for a certain brand that I'm working with, I always plan ahead. So I will always have a deck, or I will always plan out, okay, what am I gonna wear? What's my hairstyle? What's my makeup? What kind of look am I going for? What kind of picture I'm going for? And is it achievable doing it myself? Or do I need to hire a photographer? Because most times my content, I would hire a photographer or a videographer that I'm very familiar with, that I like working with, to work on my content with me. So that's why that's why sometimes my rate can be a little expensive, but it's really because of the amount and effort that I put into creating it. And also to bear in mind, like, it's not just to pay me, you know, I'm paying my videographer, I'm paying my photographer, it's for the editing, you know. So yeah, but I definitely always plan ahead, always. It's so frustrating too, it's so hard, but I enjoy it, I love it.
I guess when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like a job, right?
Yeah, when you love it, it doesn't feel like work, even though it's killing you.
Exactly. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna ask if it's a spontaneous, because I know that sometimes you would do shoots where it's spontaneous, like you were in an outfit and someone would ask, "Hey, can we take a picture?" Or "Can you take a picture with my product?" So how would you mind giving us some tips on how you work it? You know, how do you make it
Oh,
work?
you mean like when I go out and somebody like, hey, look, I have a bottle of milk that I'm producing, can you take a photo? You mean like that?
On a story. So how do you present yourself in the picture and in the video?
Okay. I guess because when we talk about social media, I actually have a social media persona. So that persona is Sleepylllama, because if you meet me in person, or if you know me personally as Nia Atasha, I'm a completely different person. I wouldn't say completely, but I am a lot different than what I seem online. So that's the tough part. But I try to be as candid, but at the same time sticking to my persona that I have online, the brand that I built for myself. So maybe people look at me, they see model, they see edgy, they see fashion. So I try to take a little bit of that part of me, and also try to be as candid and as friendly as I actually am in person. Because I feel like when I am candid, when I am raw with my content, people believe it more. You know, they would not only believe it more, they would also feel what's the word, mm, not reliable, but they feel like they are close to me.
Yeah, related.
You know, like,
Relate
hey, that's relatable. Yeah, they feel related.
to
You know, so that's really important to me, that the content I create, whatever I post up, can be relatable, which is really hard
you.
because, you know, sometimes when you work with brands and they have like certain things they want you to follow, that's where the battle begins. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that, but you know, there's always a fine line. So I always try my best to make sure there's a little bit of Sleepylllama in there.
So I think that's a really good advice. Creating a
Yeah.
online persona of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, when you plan to be a full-time content creator, you need to learn to differentiate your life in reality outside of social media and the life you portray on social media. It's okay if you want to be completely 100% yourself on your Instagram or your Facebook or Twitter, but sometimes I feel like it's so much safer if you just have this persona online and have this person that you are offline for you to keep for yourself. It's really, really important, because sometimes when you merge the two together, it can be very draining. And the thing about being a content creator or being a digital creator is that you need to understand your branding. That's what is super important to me, is branding. What kind of brand are you going for? You as a person, what kind of brand do you want to work with? So if you see yourself working with high-end brands, like let's say Chanel, Louis Vuitton, or Dior, you got to study the brand, and you got to make sure whatever that you present online for yourself resonates with the brand. So that's why I say branding. So for my branding, I would like to seem, I want to be relatable for peers my age, but at the same time, I want to seem expensive. I want to work with big brands, you know, because I want to go international. So that's how you should portray yourself online. If you like streetwear, if you like working with Supreme, or if you want to work with brands like Chinatown Market, then your feed or the content you post have to relate to that. You have to post more streetwear. You have to, you know, talk about that kind of fashion lifestyle. So yeah, I have no idea what I was talking about. What was the question?
So you explained the question. You explained the question well. So I actually love the part where you said that you have to relate to what you need to create. So, for example,
Yes.
you are, I know that you are dabbling in a few platforms. So, TikTok,
Yeah.
you have TikTok, and then I know you have a vlog coming out soon, and
Yes.
pictures and modeling. So, between, and you're hosting and acting as well,
I'm
right?
dying.
So great. Like, we have to hear from you. So, may I ask, at what age, at what number of followers did you see an impact and an improvement, and how did you actually come up with content to create more and to get more collaborations, basically?
Ooh. I think that comes down to PR, which I'm sure you're very familiar with. So I'm actually an introvert. I love staying at home. I'm not really, I love people, but I like to be with myself. But, you know, when you want to merge into a different line of work, you got to really put yourself out there. You know, you really got to, it doesn't matter what you are inside. People don't have to know. You know, you don't have to have so much pride, like, oh, I'm too cool for something. You want it, but you're too cool for it. Never have that attitude. Like, I know sometimes people go like, oh, if you're a model, stick to modeling. If you're an actor, stick to acting. If you're a host, stick to what you're good at. But I feel like now in the modern age, you're allowed to be flexible, and the more flexible you are, the better. The more jobs you get, the more opportunities you get. So yeah, put yourself out there. Don't be scared about making friends. Just say hi to your favorite social media influencer. She might just be your friend soon. You never know, you know? So just put yourself out there. If you want to work, with a specific brand or a certain type of content, just steer yourself in that direction. You know, if you don't push yourself to go get it, it's not really gonna come to you. Yeah, that's one thing I feel like a lot of people miss out, is that I want to do this, that, but what is your effort to get there? You know, so that it really comes down to you. If you want to do it, just go for it. Because even for me, that's how I started.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's see what the poll says, because I actually put a poll in. So what they want to hear from Sleepylllama is content ideas.
Content ideas?
So basically, how do you come up with your content ideas, your stories, your videos? How do you lay it down? How do you plan it? How do you do it?
Oh,
Yeah.
I spend so much time on apps like Tumblr, Pinterest. I would scroll Instagram till I die. I would scroll TikTok till I die. and because my field of work, like modeling, I'm out every single day talking to different people every single day. So I gotta keep my eyes and ears open at all times, you know, to be inspired. And you know what? Sometimes music inspires me, movies inspires me, and it's not just that. I like watching short films. I like watching music videos or ads, perfume ads or fashion ads, because I get so inspired from them, because that's the kind of content I want to create, because I love fashion and lifestyle. So that's the kind of stuff I look at. I would watch movies, I would watch advertisements about watches, about anything, to get inspired. I will stalk my favorite director, I will stalk my favorite model, I will stalk my favorite actor and actresses and see what they're up to, you know. And the thing about being a content creator is that you always have to know what's going on around you. What's the latest trend? What's happening right now? What's hot right now? What's not right now? And although I must admit, 50% of the time I cannot keep up, just keep up to the things you love. You don't have to keep up on everything unless you want to, but you can keep up on things that you're interested in and you love. That's enough.
Thank you for sharing that. So we can get a little bit of your fashion expertise. So a lot of people want to know from the last poll, how do you plan your OOTDs for your
How do
business?
I plan my OTs?
Can you give a little bit of tips for our OOTD
Ooh,
males and
okay. Male and female, you mean? Ooh, okay. I don't know if I have a male and female tip, but I don't know if it's just the Leo in me, but I love dressing up. I'm actually a very simple person. I'm in my denim and my like tank top, but like I love it when I go out and I look good and I feel good, because it's part of my job to go out and make sure I look decent, because you never know. Sometimes someone might come and like, hey, Sleepylllama, can I get a photo? You know, so the Leo in me would always like to look good, and I have moods. So my moods are, okay, am I feeling cool? Do I feel like a cool cat today? Do I feel street and edgy today? Do I feel masculine today? Am I feeling girly today? So it starts there. What kind of look I want to go for. And then I just go into my closet and try to find something that works. So if I'm feeling masculine, I would go totally boyish. If it's girly, then super girly. And what inspires me, like how I dress up, is either I look up my favorite fashion influencers, how they dress up, or I would just pick out whatever I want from the closet and just try to make it work. Because you know what? If you're not following trends, you might as well start one.
I love that.
Yeah. And there's no wrong answers. There's no wrong in dressing up. You know, there's nothing wrong in OOTDs, because it's your outfit of the day. What do you feel like wearing? Why do you want to wear it? And just rock it, you know? It's really that simple.
Thank you for that. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Thank you so much. The next question is backgrounds. Can you give us a little bit of tips on backgrounds? Like, is it safe to just go for a plain background, or try to mix it up? Cream background?
Ooh, you mean in your photos? Okay. I guess it comes down to the individual. For me personally, I don't like something that's too noisy. When I say noisy, I mean too much going on in the background, like here. I would try to make it as when I say minimal, I mean probably less items, but I'm a maximalist. I am not a minimalist. I'm not a minimalist. If you guys go to my house, nothing in that house is a minimal house, okay? Because I love to collect things. So there's bound to be things in the background, right? So the most important thing is the harmony in your background. Like for you as a person, do you like it when it's messy and noisy? Do you like how it looks? Do you prefer it plain? Or what kind of person are you? I guess it comes down to that. But if you're asking me, I don't mind plain, less things, but it can be loud. It can be colorful as hell. It can be like blue wall, yellow table in the background. But if it works with my outfit, yes. But if you want to be safe, you want a background that works with whatever it is that you wear, just go plain. So ask yourself, what kind of backgrounds do I like? When I look at someone's photo, am I attracted to the background like yang kosong, or am I attracted to like a really noisy, like outdoorish kind of background? And then it comes down to your outfit or the items that you're trying to take a photo of.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we're moving on to the next poll that I just released just now. It says, hope Sleepylllama can give some tips on how to get sponsorships.
Ooh, how to get sponsorships.
All ears.
Okay, that's tough because I've never really went out and be like, hey, can you sponsor me? But the easiest way I think to get sponsorships is you gotta know, first of all, what sponsorships are you looking for? So let's say you're a fashion influencer. Of course you want clothes, right? You want, let's say, Zalora to sponsor you. You want Pomelo to sponsor you. Then you gotta make sure the content that you create in your feed is very fashion related. It's very nice enough for the brands to look and be like, hey, we can give this girl a chance. Let's just sponsor a few clothes, take some awesome OTDs, and rock it. So sponsorship will come to you depending on what kind of influencer you are. There are influencers who get sponsorships from all kinds: furniture, bicycles, cars. Other influencers, they have it all. But some influencers, they work specifically on certain brands. So let's say if you want to be street, you post your feed has to be street, and inshallah, the sponsorship from all these street brands will come to you. But if you're brand new, you can go and approach them, but have a good feed, have nice photos, always rajin create content. Because in the end of the day, when brands give you sponsorship for free, they would expect something back, because nothing in this world is free, am I right? They give you clothes, they would want a picture or a story, or for you to shout out to your followers saying, hey, there's this brand, it's super awesome. So you really got to butter them up. Okay, this influencer game is a buttering game. The brands butter you, you butter them. Okay, so when they give you something, you have to give it back in terms of whatever you can. So that's how you get sponsorships. You gotta really, it's like you have your first boyfriend or girlfriend and you're like calling them 24/7, asking they're okay, sending them pictures. It's the same thing. So a brand approaches you, they like your content, you create content for them constantly, and when they're happy with you, word of mouth will go around. For example, let's say you take photos from Mango, and Mango people will be like, hey, Sleepylllama is a pretty cool influencer, her photos are dope, every time she posts some things, our sales go up. So they'll talk about it to other brands, and other brands be like, hey, let's give her a shot. So that's how it is. You really got to take care of your relationship with your sponsors. You got to make sure when you go out and ask for sponsorships, it's not out of your league. You don't post cooking related Instagram posts and cooking videos only, and you're asking for a car. It doesn't make sense unless you have an angle.
Thank you so much for sharing. That was very informative. Really.
Yeah, I'll try.
You're doing really good. So, I also want to ask, like, most of the people here actually want to know, would you mind sharing some tips that you would recommend to start their influencer marketing career? So, for these people, I would actually like to inform that on SushiVid, if you have 2,000 followers, a minimum, you can actually register as an influencer for campaigns.
Oh, wow, I wish I had this when I was like starting out in at 19. So easy.
So what's the
Damn.
tip that you would recommend to us? Because I know that not a lot of people, not everyone can accept our content, right?
Mm.
So
Mhm.
maybe you're a boy who's doing makeup and not everybody can actually accept it. So, or you're doing cooking shows, but you just started cooking and you're getting backlash. So, can you give us some tips on how we should start our influencer marketing career?
Okay. Oh, that's okay. To start out, I know there are worries like macam what would people think about my content? People like it. What if aku kena kecam for dressing a certain way, cooking a certain way, talking a certain way? Am I right? We all go through it. I go through it. I still do. Sometimes before I post something, I always have doubts like, should I post this? Is this too sexy? Can the community accept me? But you know what? The thing about being an influencer is that you have a huge responsibility of influencing. Put that in mind. You have a huge responsibility of influencing people. And depending on your age group, that's the people you'll be influencing. Am I right? So the best tip for me is know the crowd you want to cater to. You know, if you cater to high school kids and below, or 20-year-olds and below, high school, university students, so your content should relate to them. It should be something that they like, and it shouldn't matter what people above 30 think, you know? So you got to know the kind of market you want to go for. If you want to be an all-rounder, you want everyone from babies to old people to love you, it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's possible. It's possible how? That's where you create your online persona and your real life. You never mix those two together unless you don't mind when it gets messy. Like I never share anything personal like family or people I'm dating, I don't know, but things like that I don't share because that's too personal. So if I do a mistake online, people will attack my family first, am I right? But if they have no access to them, they're safe. So one, know the market you want to cater to, know the kind of content you want to create. And when it comes to backlashes, it really shouldn't matter because one, you should only focus on your target market, on the group you want to target, and not people other than that. It shouldn't matter. You know, you should just focus on what you want to do. Yeah, I think that's really, really, really important. Someone told me, don't focus on the things that you don't have or the things you can't control, but focus on the things that you do have, you know, that you can control and is happy to have you around. That's most important because social media can be super negative. People are going to be super mean, you know, and whatever they say, even though you don't know them, will affect you. It'll affect you mentally. It's going to drain you out emotionally, spiritually. So whatever people say, it shouldn't matter as long as you're happy with the content you create and your community is happy with the content you create. But you got to know what you want to create first. Because kecaman and anything negative is going to come your way, whether you like it or not. You just need to know how to manage it, how to handle it, and what to focus on.
Thank you for that. I'm sure everybody needed that pep talk.
Yes, okay guys, it's okay to kena kecam, followers naik, cik. But you know, bad publicity is good publicity. That's the rule in advertising and publicity. So it doesn't matter. Comes down to you.
Okay, so I know that you work with a lot of brands. So, in case some of you don't know, Nia worked with BMW. She's worked with Converse, Vans, Chanel, Dior. Right? Oh my God,
Yeah.
a lot of brands. So personally, I want to ask. I'm sure all of us are curious. What is the checklist for
Ooh.
brands for your content? Basically, your Instagram to be appealing. What is the checklist that you have to go through? Like clear pictures, clear video. What what's the checklist that you have that is also related to brands so we can create more contents for brands to find us appealing?
Okay, for brands to find you appealing, and this is, I feel, as real as it can get, because sometimes we have PR dinners with all these brands and they'll tell you why they like you. They will tell you why they want to work with you. So what I know from my experience is quality content. Quality content doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a 4,000 ringgit camera and take a photo. You know, it just had, the picture has to be clear, the message has to be clear, you know, the feedback you get from your followers has to be good. You don't need 1 million followers for Dior to be like, hey, we want to give you a handbag. But, you know, if in your little community, you are well loved and well received, you always receive good comments, you always put up pictures that people love, that's good enough. And consistency is key, especially if you're a budding influencer. You know, you're 10,000 followers and below, and it's possible to get a sponsorship from Dior. You never know. But I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying from Dior specifically, but from these brands, it's possible. As long as you're consistent and they see that consistency, they will love you. Like I say, you got to butter them up as much as they butter you up. So the checklist would be quality content, mindful content that isn't controversial, you know, isn't controversial. Try to steer away from it as much as you can. I mean, it depends on what kind of advocate you are, but for me, you want to be as neutral as possible so you can work with a lot of brands. Stay away from controversial topics, you know, because some brands, they would love you, but the moment you start becoming controversial or negative, or you bring a bad name to yourself, you will automatically bring a bad name to the brands that's associating with you. So always keep it clean, guys. Keep it PG. Keep it fun, safe, and friendly. Okay, so that's important. I think that's about it. Other than that, again, brands love you for who you are, for the content you create. So be you as much as possible, you know, uniquely you. At the same time, you have to resonate with the brand.
Thank you. Okay, so Mia, next question that I have for you is how do you stay relevant? Because you have been through, since you were in UITM, you started influencing when you were in UITM, 19?
Yeah, 19.
19. And if you don't mind, would you mind sharing like the start of your career at 19 and how you moved on to modeling, to hosting? Would you mind sharing with us?
Okay, sure. I'll start with modeling first because that started first. I got scouted at 17. Right after SPM, I got scouted by a fashion writer. So I did my first photo shoot, and then the rest is history. That's how I got into modeling. But when I started modeling, I was studying. I was studying my diploma in graphic design. So being in graphic design, I think that influenced a lot of my content. You know, so it started there. It just really started from assignments, like taking pictures of things, and then I enjoy it. I post them up. And I'm lucky in a sense that when my modeling world and my creative world and my influencing world merges, I'm just open to so many opportunities that I have right now. So that's, to put it simply, that's really the journey, you know, like, sorry. I don't know where it started. It could be a good mixture of modeling and influencer together, you know, and after that, hosting and acting and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, and to stay relevant. Staying relevant is tough because there's always something new going on. And I guess if you want to stay relevant, you got to know what's relevant right now lah, and try to relate to it. You know, you don't have to keep up with the latest TikTok dance unless you want to, but that's not my thing. You know, I cannot keep up with TikTok, but I try, you know. But if you're really active and you're really semangat and you're really like, I'm gonna do this, then keep up with all the latest trends. That's how the more trends you keep up with, the faster you go up. You know, sometimes you see someone who started out with paparatos followers, but because they started TikTok, they started following all these trends, this dancing, these duets and everything, in less than a year, they can go up to 100,000 followers. You know, just because they've been keeping up to trend, and because they keep up to trend, people are always seeing you. So to stay relevant is to make sure you don't disappear for too long. Don't disappear for too long. Your content has to be consistent. You know, at least in a week, you have to post up 2 to 3 photos at least to stay relevant, so people see you. Aside from keeping up with trends.
That was that was my next question. So would you post how it's okay. How many posting would you post in a week? Would that you recommend? And
Okay.
and do you plan it ahead and you post, or normally you just sometimes it's just okay, I need to post because I don't want to disappear. Click post. How does it work for you?
Okay. This is hard to answer. It's about my job requires me to post photos all the time, even though I don't want to. And because of that, I plan my photos. I plan what to post. I plan. Okay, so you want to be an influencer, right? You need to have this app that organizes your feed beforehand. Wait, I can't remember what's mine called. Let me find it, if I can find it.
Thank you so much, Nia, for the tip.
Wait, let me find the app. What is it called? Okay.
So cute.
Okay, I found it. Sorry. Okay. So for me, I have this app that's called Preview app. So Preview app, it will show me my current feed, and it can help you draft a lot of photos, and then you can susun how you want it. You susun your photos according to your theme or your feed or whatever, and then you can see what it looks like 10, 50 posts ahead. So that's how I plan mine. I always plan my posts. And if you look at my drafts, I have more than 100 photos to post that I have not posted yet, that I'm supposed to post. But honestly, I am just too tired to keep up. But that's the job, you know? And it's good to plan ahead, because you won't end up like me, where you're always like, oh my gosh, I need to post something today. Oh my gosh, I have to post something right now. But I don't want to post it right now because nanti kacau feed I. That's my problem. So that's why I have an app that can help me preview my feed before I post them. So I plan. So yeah, it's okay. And it's really good to have apps like this when you're an influencer. It's okay to invest a little bit of money for really good apps. It's really good. Do it. Do it. Kadang-kadang you rasa macam, ish, RM12 nak bayar setahun for VSCO or whatever. It's okay. I mean, if you're generating money out of it, invest. It's always good to invest as long as you use the apps. What are we talking about?
I think that's good advice, because I see you as someone who invests a lot in her content, and I know that you put a lot of effort in your content as well. So,
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much money, how much effort I put on something for an Instagram photo. You know what I mean? But that's the reality right now.
but your engagement afterwards, like the feedback that you get, just as much, it's as satisfying.
So it's worth it lah. But oh my god, it's ridiculous. Penat sial.
I have the next question is actually relating to next year's trend, which is live stream. So I know so let's discuss a little bit about live streaming. So not everyone can actually go in front of the camera and be like, okay, I'm gonna do live stream today, right?
Yes.
I know that you have experience in hosting. So would you mind sharing with us how you would do a live stream for a brand? Let's say Chanel or Dior. How would you, or maybe even normal brands how would you go about it? Do you have a script? How would you do it?
Okay. Wow, yes. I think live streams are definitely a trend coming next year. Definitely. I mean, if you want to be an influencer, and you can talk in front of the camera, you're set for 2021. Trust me, because I know a lot of brands out there are going to look for influencers who can talk and talk on their behalf. So keep that in mind, guys. Start practicing yourself in front of the camera. How I would prep, it is nerve-wracking because one, it's live. Two, people are watching and they're just commenting live to you too. and you don't want to screw up, and then your brand is just right behind you going like, okay, Nia, go for it, bring those sales in. And how I would prep is I always make sure I know what I'm gonna say. So you have to meet with your brands and talk to them. Okay, what's the objective of this live? What do you guys want to achieve? Is it more like you want to expose your products? Are you trying to sell your products, or you just want to introduce your products? So from there, you can really see the direction you're gonna go during the live. So if you're supposed to sell something, you're really gonna sell it. Okay, you see this mouse right here? It's an amazing mouse because I've been using it and it's amazing and it's wireless, and you know what I mean? You got to sell. But if you're introducing something, so you got to know what you're introducing. Okay, so this is the Logi mouse, okay, and it's special, and it's this and it's that, and it's amazing. I use it, you should use it too if you want to, you know. So you got to know what is it that you're live streaming for. What's the objective? Like at the end of the day, what is it they want? Do you want people to know more? Do you want people to buy? Second, talk to your brands. Like, what are some keywords or key points that you must say or do during this live so you won't mess it up? And two, they would be super happy if you mention these specific things. I don't know, point number berapa dah. And also, dress the part. Maybe it's just the fashion lover in me, but dress the part. You want to dress for a brand, you got to know what kind of color this brand resonate to, what kind of material they like. You know, let's say if I'm going to do a live stream for Chanel, I'm going to be dressed in Chanel, baby. You know, I'm going to go do a live for Shopee. Girl, I'm going to be top to bottom orange because it's Shopee. So you got to dress the part, unless they give you wardrobe. But other than that, dress the part, because when you dress the part, you come to set, the brands will be like, wow, you're all orange, just like Shopee, which is us. And they'd be so happy. You know what I mean? So that's how you butter them up. You win them over. Like, yeah, I love orange. Yay, Shopee. You know? So know your brand you're working with, A to Z. So when you know your brand, trust me, it's easy to make them fall in love with you, and it's easy for you to fall in love with the brand. If you want to invest, and if you're willing to invest, go for classes where you speak. They teach you how to speak to live audiences. Go for a hosting class, go for a public speaking class, because that will help you a lot. And if you don't have the funds for it, you don't have the money to go for classes, practice with your friends. Practice with your friends, and just talk. Bring your friends to set. Make sure they're behind the camera so you look at them and talk to them. That's a good start. But if you're doing live from home, doing live streams from home is easy, because like right now, there's no one here with me, so no one's judging me, and I cannot see you guys. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I can't see your facial expression, so I'm set. I'm good to make an idiot out of myself, you know. So find ways to be comfortable when you do lives.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're on to our final question.
Woo woo.
Unless
Wow.
the audience have any questions for Nia, be sure to comment down below if you have any questions. So the final question is, what is your advice for new and upcoming influencers out there?
My advice for new and upcoming influencers.
To sell themselves brands.
To sell themselves. Okay. First of all, it is okay to be yourself. I say this a lot because I know a lot of people try very hard to imitate each other, which is fine. You know, we get inspired. But it's also okay to be a really grungy, emo punk person who likes to wear pink. You know, find your niche, find something that's special about you, because that's going to be your brand for a very long time. I'm a design student, and my major is actually advertising and branding. That's why I love talking about branding, because what you brand yourself as is what people are going to immediately recognize you for. And in my case, a llama, a sleepy llama. So anything sleep related or llama related, people are going to be like, Nia, that model. So find a brand for yourself. Think of a whole brand for you. maybe have some money or some funds to invest in really good apps, video apps, picture apps, any kind of application that can help you as an influencer. Because it is important, because in the end of the day, you don't want to be using all the same presets as everyone else, you know? And if you want all the special ones, you got to pay for it. So if you want to be special, you might need to pay for it a little bit. But investing is good as long as you get back. And third is be kind, and be kind. No matter how mean people are to us, be kind, because it is a mean world out there. I have a therapist phone number if you guys ever need, because it's really gonna hit you hard, rock bottom, if you're not careful. So be careful, be kind, work on your branding. It's okay to invest in applications that you can't touch or feel. And yeah, be friends, I guess. Be kind to one another. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much, Nia, for all of the tips that you've given us. That is a lot of information. I'm sure all of you guys appreciated it. I know I appreciated it. I learned a lot today. So if you guys don't have any more questions for Nia, then I guess that's the end of our live, our webinar. Thank you so much, Nia, for joining us for today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so nervous. But you guys took half of my brain with y'all already. So.
Thank you for your time, Nia. Hope to see you in the next webinar. Thank you.
Yes, happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And it's been such a pleasure. And if you guys are watching, if you ever have questions, feel free to drop me an email or a DM. If I'm free, I will read it. If I'm not, know that I'm on your side, even though I've not read it yet.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Oh, by the way, everyone, don't forget to sign up on SushiVid if you have minimum of 2,000 influences, so you can start earning as well. Okay?
Yes, this is actually a really good platform. I just want to highlight that when you have platforms like this, I'm not paid to say this, okay?
No, she's not.
I'm just saying from experience, because I started without having a platform, so building myself took years. But when there's a platform like this, it's a good way to start your influencer journey, you know? So you start small, whatever jobs SushiVid can give you, go for it. It's a good training platform. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much
thank
for your
you.
wise words, Mia. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sayonara.
The next webinar.